Hey, what's happening? How you doing today? Hope you're doing all right. Today, I want to talk about what what spirituality is. You know, some people consider spirituality to be this magical thing, um, where it's about tarot cards and looking into esoteric and metaphysical knowledge. Some people see it as a form of religion. Um, some people see it as like conspiracy theory, almost like looking past the veil of the Matrix, in a sense. And for me, I feel like all the above can be a form of spirituality. Um, but I feel like it's kind of nuanced because I feel like with the tarot cards and the chakras and that part of it, I think that part is more of um, it's like a middle ground, and I think that's more psychic, you know. And just to touch on that, I personally do feel like there's a place where that's true. I feel like that's where we connected to spirit and this field of energy. It's even scientific. Pineal gland. Like, I think that's when we get into that aspect of existence. But I don't, and I think that's an aspect of spirituality. But I don't equate that to spirituality. For me, spirituality is simply reality, aligning to the truth of what you are. And it's for me, it's more of a process of um, taking layers off, and get into the center of what reality is, what you are, what God is, all of that. Like, it's ultimately about seeking and aligning with truth. That's what I consider spirituality to be. The reason why I got on that path, and I think a lot of people get on a spiritual path in the context that I'm using it, from some type of devastation, something happened in their life where sometimes that devastation can actually be success. You could be you reaching a pinnacle that you thought would result in you having an experience that didn't come. And that's what it was for me. Sometimes it's a big loss, you know what I'm saying? You experience the death of somebody close to you. But for me, early on, I was on this ambitious path, and it was about money. And well, actually, no, it was never about money for me. My relationship to money has changed over the years, but it definitely was about success and about becoming successful, in particular in the eyes of others, and just kind of using my talents. I was, like I mentioned before in the channel early on, like, I was really into Bible stuff. Like, I was really into and interested in what God was, and who God was, and trying to do the right thing, trying to get into heaven type deal. That was my thing as a kid. I was focused on that as a kid. And so I would read the Bible. I was like 7, 10. Like, nobody had to tell me to read the Bible. Like, I was reading the Bible because I had an attraction to wisdom. Like, I remember I remember reading like Proverbs. Proverbs has always been one of my favorite books, and it's because the words were magic to me. Even as a kid, like I would read the words, and I didn't like the Bible at first because all I had access to when I was coming up was the King James version, and you know how they talk, that art thou, and this and that, and thou shalt not, and I was just like, why they can't just talk regular? But when I got to Proverbs, though, the words were magic to me. Like I'm not gonna quote right now, because I'm rusty. I haven't been in the Bible, and my viewpoint has shifted a lot, but I still think it's valuable. That magic that I was seeing was like, I would read something and I could see what it was talking about. Like, it made me think of situations in my life, or some of the adults that I looked at around me, and I could see their situation in those words. Like, I'd be like, oh, that's what they did, and she's like that, or he's like that. Oh, this is saying why he going through, you know what I mean? That clicked to me as a kid. Like, I'm talking, I was 7, 8. I remember talking to adults, and I don't remember what we were talking about. I just remember me really being attracted to that energy, like appreciating that wisdom, and talking to adults and them crying, and man, like, you really helped me. But I never wanted to be no preacher. And church always felt a little weird to me. But the point where things went from ambition and trying to be successful in the world, and kind of shifted to spirituality, where I actually started questioning my faith. I started questioning God. Like, I was always questioning God. I always felt guilty and fearful, you know what I'm saying, because there was this whole thing about don't question God. But through grace, I was able and willing to listen to myself, something that rebelled against those notions, and I believe it took me deeper. So I started asking questions about who Jesus was and who God was, and why can't I question, and why is this like that, and why this, why that, why this, and that ultimately genuinely led me deeper and deeper, and led me out of spirituality, and Christianity, and like deeper truths, and then that's as that trajectory was going on, it took me all over. It took me to earth. It took me to energy. It took me till I got to the point where I started looking at myself, and I started seeing I came upon this concept of oneness, and I only came upon this concept through this, like, following this path through, you know what I'm saying? And this is a course of years, this was a course of a lifetime. When I got to college, I was still on the ambitious path. It was still about me becoming an animator. That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be an animator. I wanted to animate for films. I wanted to make my own cartoons. And there's still something there for me, but it's like, it's reorganizing, and I got my hands off. Like, I'm gonna allow it to land authentically. But I get to college, and I'm doing good. In high school, I barely passed. And it's not because I had trouble with academics. I just didn't care. I didn't care about it. I was over it. By the time senior year came, I didn't even want to be at school. So I barely passed in high school, but I get to college and I just completely apply myself. Like, I was on the president's list. I had a 4.0 GPA. And granted, this was me doing something that I love to do, like animation and art and all that. But when I got there, man, it was like this constant undercurrent of I'm learning this stuff to be a cog in a system. And that's not what I got into it for. Like, I'm not learning all these skills and this ability with my art and animation and learning these tools so that I can express and give something, create something that's beautiful and that impacts. That was my thing. I was going there to be a tool, to be an employee. And for people who are on that path and that works for you, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. That is a way. It just was not my way. I wanted to learn it for me, from my heart, and to create my own stuff. You know what I mean? So school it wasn't feeling right to me, and it crashed my system, because on one end it's like, bro, I'm successful. I had a car. I had a girlfriend at the time. I'm on a trajectory to success. Like, I'm in college. I'm in college for a thing that I want to do. I'm successful in college. I got a 4.0 GPA, but I'm miserable. I'm happy. I'm unhappy. And it's not only that I'm unhappy. I have a strong, very strong, this is not what I want to do. This is not what I should be doing. And that messed me up, because I know some people grind through that. And that's a whole nother conversation. Like, for people who have grinded through that, or who have went further in that process, that's a whole nother conversation for me. But somehow I did not, I halted. I stopped, because that strong, that moment was pivotal, and I was just like, bro, this is not it. This is not what I thought it was. And that led me to seeking deeper, asking questions about who I am, what I want, what's the point of life, what are we even here for? And man, that just kept unfolding, and even now, there's been moments where my path would pull me back into the financial. It was like I was kind of teetering and tottering between financial and spiritual, and I think a lot of us on the genuine journey go through this. I'm getting to a point now where and for a while now, where I've been understanding that integration is possible. Two truths can exist at once, and you can handle both. But in all of that, saying all that to say this, I realized in that moment, and I don't think it changes. I don't think it's ever going to change. Some people, it take a lifetime to realize this. Some people never realize this. It was definitely painful to realize it, and it was a curse for me for a while. But I realized that it doesn't matter what you have on the outside. Even if you are successful by means of the world, even by means of yourself, if it is not an alignment with who your spirit is, what you are, your truth, and a lot of us don't even know that. We don't even have the time to figure that out. So, I made the choice to take that time, and it has been a sacrifice. I didn't know that then, but I know that now. It has been a sacrifice, because my external world has suffered because of that. I've spent a long time going without, and just cultivating. but the fruits of it has been this peace, this coherence within myself. And I want to say the outside things are starting to fall into place, slowly, but more importantly is that I've curated and am continuing to curate the internal atmosphere that will allow me to enjoy every moment that I walk into, versus being able to perform and produce and meet needs but be empty inside. Like that's a skill. And for people who can do that, like, I'm not saying that that's wrong, because it's a place. I feel like it's a place for everything. I literally genuinely be impressed with people who can, like, switch. Some people can switch that shit. Like, I'm gonna go, and I mean, I do it to an extent, but the way I'm oriented is different. Like, some people can go and perform and switch, and you know what I'm saying, they can give most of their life to something and switch, and the private life can be, just this, it's not really concerned about it so much. That's not the case for me. Like, I don't know if it's that my soul is old. I don't know if it's whatever it is. I want and need more freedom, more personal time, more quiet time. I like more silence, you know what I mean? I like I just like the freedom and the silence and quiet, and to me that's rich. And I know a lot of people don't understand that, but I know that there's some that do. But either way, I recognize that that's true for me. And so, yeah, I mean, spirituality, that's kind of, that's all I really want to say on that. That's kind of how things have unfolded for me. And like right now in my life, it's like I'm focused on financial stability, but it's not financial stability. It's not financial stability in a sense of proving something. You know what I mean? It's to cater to that freedom. It's to take that freedom that is in here and within, and to, like, allow it to have an encasing or a shell, using my external world as almost like a case to to just allow it to unfold how it naturally will. So, a bit of a rant, but I wanted to share that, and I hope you got something out of it. With that, that's I don't even know if that's a message really. Just more of a vent and just sharing my ideas on what spirituality is and how I, kind of found my way in it. But with that, I hope you're having a great day. And if today is rough for you, I'm sending strength to you. I hope that the next moment is better, and I'm sending you power to get through this moment. You know what I mean? So whether today is a great day, a rough day, whether you're struggling to make ends meet or you're at the pinnacle of your success, either way, the greatest place that you can come from is right where you are. Not perfect, just real. I wish you peace, love, and abundance every single day, especially on the days that it rain. And with that, signing out.